Welcome back to the 6.8 liter garage. Got another little project today. We're going to be building a picture frame. It's a little gift from my wife. We'll be celebrating our 35th anniversary next month, so it's a 35 years themed picture frame. But before we get into that, there's a little thing I wanted to go over. I'm real close to a major accomplishment on my YouTube channel. I went into YouTube Studio and I noticed I've got over 800 subscribers, which means if all 800 of you were to reach out to your closest 100, 110, maybe 120 friends and get them all to subscribe, we could be at 100,000 subscribers. I know it's not much to ask and you're happy to do it, but yeah, if you could get me to 100,000 subscribers, I could retire. Anyway, enough of that boring stuff. The project for today, like I said, is it's a picture frame. It'll have a picture of, you know what? Why don't we have a laptop guy reenact how he drew that? So, I mean, I could do it here, but I'm not laptop guy, and you actually deserve to see how laptop guy did it. So, you know, and I can't just like put on laptop guy uniform and become the superhero that is laptop guy. No, I don't think I can do that. Can I? Okay, laptop guy here, and today we're going to draw, well, I'm going to show you the techniques I use to draw this guy, which is a 35-year anniversary picture frame that I made for Mrs. 6.8 liter and Mr. 6.8 liter. Well, I drew it. So, but I don't want to draw it again because it gets tedious redoing things, but I'll show you the techniques I used. So, let's get right into it. The main part of the picture frame is a square, well, a rectangle. And we'll set the size of that rectangle. We'll make the width 5, we'll do 5 by 7. Common size. Okay, the next thing that I know I want to have on this is a stand. So the stand that I made for that, I drew for the existing one, used an oval. We'll use a circle, and we'll set the size of that circle to 3 inches. Okay. Oh, actually, Control X. I'm going to delete that circle for a second. This is just an easy way to get my measurements to match the drawing. So I'm going to set resize to content. So that gets the rulers to show 5 by 7. Okay, now, so I Control X, I cut that. I'm going to Control V. That should put my circle back to 3-inch circle. So now that 0 starts on the X, and I know this is 3 inches, I know I want the X of this thing to be 1 inch. So I'm going to say 1 inch. That'll center it. Or I could have centered it. And the Y, so it's 5 by 7, so 7 inches tall. The circle's 3 inches tall, so half of a circle is 1.5 inches. 7 minus 1.5 is 5.5. So we'll make the Y 5.5 for that. Alright, so now I've got a circle and rectangle overlaying each other. Highlight them both. Say path. I should have done object. Oh, let's do it now. Path, objects to path. Now we have 2 paths. And then I'll say path union. And then we can do this to bring the kickstand in as part of the drawing. So now we'll just bend right along here, and that'll stand the frame up. Next thing we need is a place to put the picture. So we need another rectangle, and we'll make this rectangle a common size 4 by 6. But the actual picture is 4 by 6 typically, so I'll do 3. The width will be 3.75, so it's slightly smaller than the So slightly smaller than the actual 4x6 photo will be. And we'll put this guy here. Made a 5. I'm gonna make the X of it. Actually, I kind of like that where it is. What is the X? 0.6. Well, center it up as you'd like. One thing we should do probably is center it. So I'll go over here and say align and distribute. I usually say relative to the last one selected. I'm going to hit the center button. I moved it a little bit. Okay, so it's centered. And let's see, what do I have here? 1.375. I think 1.5 is what I want it to be. 1.5. Okay. So now we have our hole for the picture. And we need to combine that. So what we'll do is highlight them both and say path difference. So that cuts out that inner rectangle. As you can see now, we've got a path, a single path with the frame and the cutout and the kickstand. And really all that's left is some text. And in the theme of the one that I did for the 6.8 liters, let's do load. And the other thing that's just coincidental, I didn't think about this. This font and these letters don't technically need to be bridged because that O is open and the rest of the letters are open. So that's kind of cool. So I'll highlight that and highlight the rest of the drawing. Once again, I'll center it and I'll highlight all of it, Control A, and we'll do path, combine. So now we have a single path and our letters will be cut out of the frame. One thing we should do, although it doesn't need to be bridged, this is too tight. So when you go to cut this out, when it cuts the O out, that's going to be a problem. So I tend to just monkey around with this a bit. So if I go to, I'll highlight these nodes and using my arrow key go over 2, down 1, over 2, down 1, something like that. Actually, I don't know. Something like that. Looks kind of ugly, so I'm going to delete that node. And I'm going to make this one go like that a little bit. So you can play with it however you want. Take those and move them over. And take these, move them over. So you can see I've got a much bigger gap here. So you can keep massaging that until you get it the size you want it to be, the way you want it to look. And then we're ready to cut this guy out. All you'd have to do would be to save it as a DXF and load it into your ArcDroid, or you could save it. Let's do this, file, save as, stick it on the desktop. It can be called drawing. Save, and let's open SheetCam, and I'm going to tell SheetCam to import the drawing from my desktop called drawing. Okay. And there's the drawing we just created, and we'll add a tool. I'm going to use my 16 gauge, it's 110 inches per minute, black. So that's my settings for 16 gauge. And it's got all of our cuts ordered out, and then all we have to do is say file, run post processor. I'm going to stick this on the desktop as well. And we'll have our G-code right there. You want to see what G-code looks like? There we go. And we can take this G-code file and load it into the ArcDroid and cut it. Anyway, that's that. Let's go back out to the garage. Okay, welcome back out to the shop. Hopefully Laptop Guy demonstrated the techniques he used to create this drawing, and showed you this drawing. I'm not going to move you because the way I'm using the camera now is a little bit of a pain to change it. But I've got it all set up while you were out there working with him, or virtually online working with Laptop Guy. I was out here getting everything set up. So got the 16 gauge metal set up, and got the prime weld cut 60 all set up. Air tank's full of air. We're gonna do 110 inches per minute, 30 amps. I've got a 0.65 millimeter tip on here, which is a little bit of a fine tip for 16 gauge. I think they call it a 20 amp tip, but I'm gonna run it at 30 amps, just hoping that I'll have less issues with the letters that I'm using being so close together and everything. Hopefully I'll get a finer cut with this setup. So we'll see how that goes. I've done it before and it's worked out, so we'll try it again. I did do some dry runs, and I think we're going to be good. I haven't ran the plasma cutter in several weeks, and I didn't do a test cut on anything, so hopefully this all just works. Hopefully I know what I'm doing, but we're going to run it. Well, it looks pretty good. The only thing I don't like is there's a little bit of a, maybe I better let you guys follow me around. The only thing I don't like is it looks like a little bit of blow through on the relief cuts, where it's going to bend. But other than that, I think it looks good. Is it hot? There we go, got it loose. And you can see 35 years in love. That's what we drew up. Hopefully Mrs. 6.8 liter can actually get two 4x6 pictures in there. So, but that's on her. I'm just doing the cut the metal part. So yeah, get this stuff all put away, and we'll bring it over here and we'll get it cleaned up. Okay, got everything cleaned up here, got the metal put away, ArcDroid's de-energized, plasma cutter shut off, and the air's drained. Now we need to get this guy cleaned up, which is a perfect opportunity to use my new magnetic vise that I put in here last video. So go check that out, I'll link it at the end, or down below. But yeah, so we're gonna grind this down real quick and bend it, and then Mrs. 6.8 liter does not want this painted. She wants it shiny, she says. So I'll probably put a clear finish on it and we'll just leave it shiny. But first step is to clean all the dross off of it. So let's demonstrate this table a little bit. You can see I can throw that on there and take it off. But if I turn this magic lever on, now you can't lift it off of here. It's a Vevor lifting magnet for a winch, for a crane. And I welded it into the table. So I'll put a link to that video so you can see how I did it. But now I won't tear up the fingers on my gloves holding it down while I cut stuff. So get some PPE on here and we'll go to grinding this real quick. It shouldn't take very long. There's not that much dross, not that much detail to cut. So let's see what happens. So there we go, got it all shined up. Got the mill scale off of it, and it's the same, a uniform silver color. Now, use the other vise on this table. Well, we can go 100% low tech. Let's see if we can use our magnetic vise to hold it in place. Probably could do that and then just use the hammer, but I think I'll use these. For the jobs they were intended for. Bending things. Not for rounding over nuts, but bending things. There we go. Can you see that? Picture frame leaning back like it's supposed to. Alright, so you guessed it, we're in the 6.8 liter paint booth. I'm gonna put some clear lacquer on this thing. That's all there is to it. I do like this stuff. It dries fairly quickly. Keeps things from rusting. I have a sign out in the yard. It gets rained on. Actually, the sprinklers even hit it. It's just clear 16 gauge with this lacquer on it. What is this lacquer? Minwax clear aerosol lacquer. And it actually works really good. It sticks to metal, sticks to wood, so if you're doing a project that's metal and wood, it's a good finish for that. But yeah, we'll let that dry, put another coat on it, and see what Mrs. 6.8 liter wants to do with it. Alright, sports fans, that's the project for today. Got the 35-year anniversary picture frame I made for Mrs. 6.8 liter and myself, and came out pretty good. We got to spend a little time with laptop guy, and got to try out our magnetic vise. Seems to work pretty good. Anyway, I appreciate you for visiting, and don't forget, like, share, and subscribe, and like, share, and subscribe about 110 of your closest friends, and I could retire. Alright, thanks for watching.